Well, we've had a wild day of weather across the valley. It started first thing in the morning with severe thunderstorms rumbling through parts of North Dakota, 80 to 90-mile-per-hour wind gusts and hail that worked its way through the FM area. The 90-mile-per-hour wind gusts, by the way, western North Dakota. Tonight, thunderstorms containing a tornado threat continue across portions of Minnesota. Your update begins right now. A quick note from my sponsors at Robert Gibbons Sons. If you are thinking of upgrading your heating and cooling system, well, now's the good time to do it. You can get a free water heater to boot when you upgrade to a new Bryant system today with 97% efficiency. That 10-year warranty comes with it and a 3-year labor warranty as well. And take advantage of that free water heater. Call them up today. Let them know that Hutch sent you. We're going to start with the forecast, and we're going to go to these storms that are still dancing across the region. Active tornado warnings continue. It looks like one just expired, as a matter of fact, but we do have another one to tell you about in Wisconsin. Here is a look at the showers and thunderstorms now, a couple roaming across portions of North Dakota. As we go through the overnight hours, the activity in eastern Minnesota pushes into Wisconsin. And then as we go through the overnight, look at this cluster of thunderstorms moving through Nebraska. Severe weather all night long there, gusty winds. All modes of severe weather will be possible. Sioux Falls and out into parts of Iowa will be along a warm front still, so we could have some action there as well. These will arrive in the I-29 corridor of eastern parts of Omaha as we head into the daybreak hours. For us, a quiet overnight once our thunderstorms fizzle. And that includes Minnesota. For your Tuesday, look at this. Another round of storms fired, but this time they focus mainly in South Dakota and Nebraska. Once again, southern parts of North Dakota could see some scattered showers and thunderstorms as we head towards your drive time home. But heading into the evening, it looks like they dive south, but let's just suffice it to say our southern counties have a chance at an isolated thunderstorm in the afternoon and evening, with some storms making their way out of parts of Saskatchewan and Manitoba. Good evening. Good to see you on board here, Cheryl. That's a look at what's going on, or what the forecast is looking like. Let's go ahead and look at what's going on right now and do a little radar review if we can here before we head into the late night hours. Here's what's going on the regional radar. We do have a tornado warning in parts of northern Wisconsin, more tornado warnings out in western and southern parts of Nebraska, and severe thunderstorm warning here in the central part of North Dakota. Now, this storm is heading towards Wing in Burleigh County. It's going to stay out of the Bismarck area. It's been dancing its way through parts of Sheridan County and McCluskey area as we've gone through. Considerable damage threat from this storm because of the hail risk. 1.75-inch hail and 60-mile-per-hour gusts moving in that general direction of Wing at this time. The hail core itself moving off into the Wing Tuttle area as we go through the next half hour. And again, that storm is only moving at 16 miles per hour, so some torrential and heavy rainfall from that. Look out Minot right now. Storms are curving in. See this backward C shape here? That is called a bow echo. Those bow echoes, they can be windy. So expect some gusty winds and some hail not far from the Minot Air Force Base up here on the north side. There's that curving structure to this with that bowing line segment, possibly creating some pretty significant winds. We'll take a look at the single site data with this storm moving into the populated area of Minot, North Dakota right now, and points north. So here it is. The Minot radar shows that curved feature still there. Gusty straight line winds are accelerating this storm. You see these little green signatures out here, gust fronts blowing out ahead of the storm. There could be some hail potential with this storm, and here's what the National Weather Service says. It's not warned, but 3/4-inch diameter hail and 55-mile-per-hour wind gusts will be possible. But with this storm moving right into the Deering radar, Hutch can take a measurement of those wind speeds for you in this live update. Thanks for watching Minot. By the way, if you're from Minot or the Minot area, drop me a comment in the lines here. And thanks for watching on my channels. We'll go through this one here real quickly, and we'll see that the Deering radar is located right here, looking right into the winds of the storm moving into the area. We're looking at straight velocity. Your time at this hour is 8:43. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the estimated wind at altitude here. 30-40 mile per hour wind gusts aloft just above the ground here on the north side of town from Glenburn on the way out towards the Deering area. These will be blowing their way out. Isolated places could see some wind gusts upwards of 55 miles per hour. The good news here is I'm not seeing some of the redonkulous wind working with this storm. Let's go to the Bismarck radar because I'm seeing a feature here that's showing some, well, what we would call changing velocity next to each other, or gate to gate shear or spin in the storm. Sorry about that while I'm thinking of two things here. I'm going to switch the radar over to this one, and we'll look at the Bismarck site if I can. It looks like it's still locked in on the Deering radar. I wonder if there's a problem with the Bismarck radar right now. Let's switch way out. Nope. Okay, so this one does have a little bit of spin or shear in the storm as it's moving its way toward the wing area. This one is a warned storm. Large hail and a considerable damage threat will accompany this particular storm as it works its way off to the east. So again, very large hail, gusty winds, and there is some rotation with the storm. A look from the closer radar here, I do believe will show that we have some pretty intense rotation with the storm as well. So we'll keep our eyes on this one. A severe thunderstorm warning for northern Burleigh County is in effect right now. Look at this, moving into the Hayward area out there in Wisconsin. A significant severe thunderstorm has prompted a tornado warning here as we look east of Spooner and in reserve south of Hayward. There is a little bit of a couplet showing up right here, and that tornado warning is until 9 p.m. or for the next 16 minutes. So it's been a wild night of weather across the region, and thanks to all of you who have participated at Hutch's Weather and hutchesweather.com. A couple of photos to share with you of actual tornadoes making their way down and contacting the ground right in our neck of the woods on the lakes. Check this out. This is the Marion Lake area. Look at that puppy. That is not a small tornado in Otter Tail County. That's a big one out there. Huge wall cloud wrapping around, and you can see the debris on that. What? You can't see it? Well, let's get the close-up view that was sent in here. And again, thanks so very, very much, Amber, for sharing this photo. Look at the size of that tornado as it worked its way across Marion Lake. I have not heard of damage reports yet, but hopefully things were okay out there in Otter Tail County. So that's a look at what's going on right now with the weather. Now let's take a look at the rainfall that fell today. We're going to start with that morning rain that made its way through and through the day. So since midnight, this is the rainfall amounts in North Dakota. Over an inch out in the Medora area, 1.3 to 1.6 inches of rain out in the western part of North Dakota near the park and beach. Mandan, Bismarck picking up 0.6 of an inch, but over an inch in parts of central Morton County. Beneficial rain, all of this out to the west. Although in the driest areas here, we remain only over 0.1 of an inch. Hi, Avis, good to see you. 0.5 of an inch in northern Stutzman County, with Jamestown picking up 0.75 of an inch. And we did get some lofty rainfall amounts in the FM area, 1.09 at the Endon site in North Fargo, with many locations picking up a good 0.75 of an inch of rain. Bismarck radar should be good. Thanks, Scott. Yeah, it was good. My computer was just a little bit slow and pokey there. I think I've worked it a little bit overtime today. It's been a long day for the computer system. And as we take a look into western Minnesota Lakes Country with those severe storms that developed right over Lakes Country, producing 44 100ths in eastern Otter Tail County. The 2-day precipitation total, since some of this started last night out here, still pretty nice out there in the areas that needed it most. Now, there were a lot of places with just a trace of rain up here by the Williston zone, but we did get some beneficial rain elsewhere. 2.2 inches? What? That's Grant County. Some super soakers going on there. So that's a look at what's going on. Now let's take a quick peek at bonus coverage. What's going on with your smoke forecast? It's been a couple of days. Northwest winds behind this storm system are going to work their way back into the region. Let me get you up to date with the latest on that. There are still some fires up there in parts of Canada, and we still have some concerns with smoke. Pardon me, as we take a look at the near surface smoke that we have in the area right now. Not too bad, but look at up here as we go towards morning, up near Lake of the Woods, Rainy Lake area, expect an increase in smoke and a decrease in air quality. Again, an increase in smoke, decreasing air quality in northern parts of Minnesota. Now, as this model continues to trek through, some of those smoke amounts get quite heavy up to the north in parts of Ontario. But other than that, that looks to be pretty quiet through our Wednesday. So not many of us will be dealing with smoke. Now, I'll look at your forecast. For tonight, expect overnight temperatures to dip down. Thunderstorms that are out there should be diminishing or dissipating as we go through. Temperatures near 60. Showers and thunderstorms in South Dakota in the morning. And again, widespread thunderstorm activity across South Dakota and Nebraska will be ongoing. Notice 60s there. We're going to kiss 80 degrees in parts of the valley as we go through the day. Same thing for Minneapolis. Same thing for Duluth with a 75-degree day there right on the shores of the lake. Look at the big sky country of Montana. Oh, those skies are delivering the heat. 82 degrees out that way. Now let's take a look at that 7-day planner. One nice thing you're going to know is no red highlighted days up here. We do have chances of thunder in the forecast, but to me it looks fairly fairly quiet, fairly awesome. So mostly awesome. Hey, Jenny, thanks for watching from Nevis. It's great to have you on board 79 in your forecast for Tuesday in Fargo. Mostly quiet, seasonal. Down in the far south, a chance for some thunder showers there. Wednesday and Thursday, hit and miss showers, but this looks to be mainly north on Wednesday as we go through the afternoon hours up near the international border. Low 80s. How about a 100% chance of plum awesome sauce on your Thursday? Looking good. I cannot rule out an isolated thunder shower in the heat of the day. And the heat is on. Ba-da-da-da-da, ba-da-da-da-da. 85 degrees on a Friday, which will be the day with the longest amount of sunshine in the entire calendar year. And after Friday, the daylight hours start heading towards the annual minimum, which happens. Oh, that's a long time. Stop it, Hutch. Be nice. Okay, south wind, a hot wind. Saturday, 87 degrees, 91 degrees on Sunday. So if you're heading out to a, well, fairly significant car show in and around the Twin Cities called Back to the 50s, I can't rule out an isolated thunderstorm. That best chance might come on Friday. We'll see spotty thunderstorms in our area on Sunday. But for Fargo, it looks like darned hot, darned skippy-dippy hot, and then a nice cool down with north winds on your Monday. This is a forecast brought to you by my friends at Eventide on the 7-day planner. It looks like some summer-like weather for you lakegoers as well. And Eventide is an absolutely wonderful place to live and a fabulous place to work. And you can find out more. Log on to eventide.org today. What a day. A lot of active weather across the region. As I take a look at what's going on right now, I'll share with you that we do have some continued tornado watch areas out here. So let's show you the very latest on that, shall we? Taking a look at the red counties you see here from areas south of Duluth near Superior through Minneapolis and points east, and Rochester still under that tornado watch. That was set to expire at 9 or in the next 10 minutes. Let's double check that. Yep, it expires in 10 minutes. Now, we recently did have that tornado warning in that Hayward area of Minnesota. That has now also been allowed to expire. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning up here north of Winona. Acadia crossing over that 93 corridor. That's a hot spot right there, though, with some hail potential heading towards Eddick, Wisconsin. All right, so still continued stormy weather taking place right now as we look off for you folks in McCook, Nebraska. A tornado warning has been placed there. This puppy's moving southwest. Okay, so a look at that particular storm showing some particularly strong movement. We'll go to the Goodland, Kansas radar here, if the computer will be so kind as to let us. We do have flood warnings in these areas, and there is rotation on this storm heading right towards Palisade. This is south of Interstate 80 in Nebraska, so south of North Platte, which did report a funnel cloud today by a storm chaser. Let's see, that's a tornado report, not a funnel cloud report, Hutch. So there's a tornado report. Multiple reports over the phone and social media reports of a tornado on the ground in this area that happened at about 7:07 Central Time. So that was earlier today. So that storm creepy crawly out there right now. A line of severe storms working their way across parts of central Nebraska, Broken Bow out to Columbus. All right, let me see here if we have any questions. Kai says no when the humidity will die down in Lakes Country. Kicking myself for not heading east when I saw the rotation earlier near the New York Mills area. You know, it was a spinny day out there. Hutch was talking about that as we went through the forecast last week. It was kind of unseasonably cool for the weekend, but things really heated up in those south winds and the humid air. That is the fuel. The humidity is the fuel for the energy in these storms, believe it or not. And the spin comes from, well, areas of shear in the atmosphere. So that's what's going on right now. If there's no other questions, Nebraska has had a tornado on the ground for over an hour, says Scott. Well, Nebraska has got a significant tornado warning in the southwest part of the state. And if we read the latest from the Weather Service, it is basically a radar-indicated tornado at this time. I don't see any other tornado warnings right now, Scott. There could be one on the ground in that area. I'm not a storm chaser out there, and I have not heard of that. But certainly we can see the shear with this storm heading towards Hayes Center and Palisade right now. We can even take one more peek, Scott, just because it's fun to do, at the debris signatures on this. And I am seeing hail core with this storm here, where we see a lot of this gray right next to it. And let's go ahead and take a look at the correlation coefficient. Yeah, there is a drop in the correlation coefficient, which correlates nicely with the spin that was in the storm. So there could be some debris lofted in the air right now. That's a dangerous storm heading in that general direction of Hayes Center at a pokey pace. A pokey pace. Thank you for the update, Scott. I always appreciate you. You know that. Thanks for watching. Gillette, you got thunderstorms there. Casper, Wyoming, seeing some thunderstorms up there in the high country of the plains of eastern Wyoming. Those storms, as we look at the velocity structure here, look to be a little bit on the thunderstormy side. Let me take a look, pardon me, while I pull up the right product to look at spin in the storm. So as we look out on the high plains in the high country of Wyoming, Casper, we have some unidirectional winds blowing your way. And as we look at the regular radar data here, you're going to see these storms are stout. All the blue and white in there indicating some hail potential heading into Casper. Shh, that's unfriendly hail out there. You won't put the vehicle in the garage. Down south of Wright, we have some storms that are severe. Wright, though, you've got a whale of a storm right over the top of you and heading out towards Custer in the Black Hills. That's right there in the Black Hills outside of Rapid City. We have some pretty stout thunderstorm activity in the Black Hills. Rapid City itself under the gun with some hail cores making their way through. But this Custer storm working its way through has a severe thunderstorm warning, moving only at 21 miles per hour. 60 mile per hour gusts are in the mountains with 1-inch diameter hail a possibility. Newcastle, Wyoming, a storm meandering its way towards you, as well as south of Broadus, Montana. Up there in northeast Wyoming and in that Gillette area, we've got a heater working its way across the rural portion north of Gillette and rural part of the county there. So that's what's going on. That's a good look around. Thank you very much, Brad, for the kudos. And let me see. It looks like Scott had another update for me. Oh, he says he should say they did have a tornado on the ground for over an hour. Yeah, and that storm still could be producing tornadoes out there. Plenty of spin as we saw there too. So in our area, it looks like we're done for the night with severe weather in the Fargo area. There is a central North Dakota storm that's working very slowly to the southeast, expected to dissipate. Strong storms in and around Minot, eastern parts of Minnesota. Everything from flood warnings, but folks, I'll remind you, we had all of the fires going on in Minnesota in this area. We needed the moisture quite badly out there as well. I appreciate each and every one of you sticking with me today on my weather coverage right here on hutchesweather.com and on my channels on Facebook and YouTube. And thanks to all of you today who have subscribed on my YouTube channel. That's important to me, and it really helps me out to see those subscriptions. So comment on the YouTube channel anytime you want. Let me know where you're watching from. If you have a question even outside of the bounds, well, when I get to it, I will do my very goodest to get to your weather information right here. And again, thanks so much for following me on my Facebook channel. For now, I'm Meteorologist Hutch Johnson, reminding you to have yourself a wonderful Monday evening, and we'll keep you updated on a week of increasing temperature and, well, a little bit of smoke in the air as well, as we talked about earlier in northern Minnesota for your Toasty Tuesday across the